In this session, I will be talking about some of the basic materials of construction. So basically, there are many different materials we use in the construction activity, but I will be speaking about some 7 different materials which are most commonly used in the construction activities. The first one is bricks, and the second one is cement and mortar. The third one is plain cement concrete, which we usually call as PCC. Then we will be talking about the reinforced cement concrete. Then I will be discussing about the pre-stressed concrete, so which is one of the most common material which we use nowadays in the construction of the bridges, flyovers. Then the next one is structural steel, that is basically the iron rods what we use in the construction activity, which we call as a steel. Then the last one is the different chemical which we use in the construction activity. Especially we use these chemicals in the concrete to alter the properties of the concrete. So we will be discussing all these properties or materials one by one. Okay. Now let us discuss the first construction material, which is most commonly and widely used in the construction activity, that is the bricks. We all know that the brick is made up of clay or the earth material, right? It is a very simple and most commonly manufactured construction material which is made of using the naturally available soil. But whenever we are using soil or the earth material to manufacture the bricks, we have to use in a particular composition to achieve the good strength. That is, usually the clay or soil which we are using for the construction material, it should contain roughly about 30% of the alumina and the 40% of the silica. Apart from these two major constituents, we should have other constituent materials like either maybe magnesia or ferric oxide and the calcium carbonate, which is roughly around 10% each. If you use this particular combination for the manufacturing of the bricks, the strength and durability of the brick should be, it will be very, very good. We can use them for the longer durations. Now, whenever we are casting the bricks, usually in the olden days, we used to construct or we used to cast the bricks hand molded. So during that times, either they use the wooden boxes or the metal boxes to cast or to fabricate the bricks. The standard size what it is usually available in the market, it is of 200 millimeter into 100 millimeter into 100 millimeter. That is, the length of the bricks which is available in the market, it will be roughly around 200 millimeter. The depth will be about 100 millimeter, and the width of the brick is also about 100 millimeter. This is a standard size. What is meant by standard size? Standard size means this size, it is including the mortar mix which we are using for the bonding purpose. That is, whenever we are using these bricks for the construction of the walls, the sizes including the mortar, which is filling material or a bonding material, that is the standard sizes. To achieve this standard sizes, what we do, we manufacture little lesser sizer than that. That is, we usually manufacture the length of the bricks will be of about 190 millimeter, width as 190 millimeter, and depth as also 90 millimeter. So this 10 millimeter gap, we use this for the filling material. And based on the strength of the bricks have been classified into 3 categories. That is class 1, class 2, class 3 and class 3 bricks. Usually it is expected that the minimum strength of the bricks what we are using for the construction, it should be roughly about the minimum strength. It is 3.5 MPa. That is the class 3 bricks. So, if this is the strength of the bricks, then we can use for those bricks for the construction of purposes. Now, we will talk about the what are the requirements of a good bricks. That is, whenever we are planning to use the bricks in the construction activity, so before deciding or before using those bricks, we need to check the quality of the bricks. So, whenever we are checking the quality of the bricks, we need to go through with some of the important points, like whenever we observe the bricks, the color, sorry, the bricks should be burnt uniformly and thoroughly. So, as we all know that the bricks are produced after burning, or basically if I talk about there are two categories of bricks. One is sun dried bricks and another one is the burnt bricks. Nowadays we are not using the sun dried bricks, we are using only the burnt bricks. So, the burning process should be done thoroughly, then only they will achieve the strength. The second thing what we need to observe is we need to observe how the color of the bricks. The color should be uniform, and the edges of the bricks, they should be sharp and straight edges. They should not have the undulated edges. It will create problems during the construction of the walls especially. Then uh, whenever we are buying the bricks or when we are purchasing the bricks, so and during the checking the quality, so if you struck the two bricks to each other, we should be able to hear a clear ringing sound which represents the quality of the bricks. If you are able to hear clear ringing sound, then we can make sure that, or we can assume that the burning process has done in a good way and the bricks have attained a good strength. And the next thing is what we need to observe is the scratches. That is, if you are trying to put a scratch on the bricks through your nails, there should not be any scratches. If you are able to put a scratches on the bricks through your nails, then we can there itself we can decide that the quality of the brick is not that good. And the few more points, like they should be free from the cracks, flaws, lumps and the holes. And it should not, brick should not contain all these things. As I mentioned earlier also, the minimum compressive strength when you test under a compressive testing machine, the minimum strength should be of 3.5 newtons per millimeter square or 3.5 MPa. And the most important or the most practically tested method is this one, that is, when you drop the bricks from 1 meter height, it should not break into pieces. It is usually a very most common test, usually what we do in the practical field. Then the next one is when we immerse this brick into the water for 24 hours, these brick should not absorb water more than 20% of its weight. See, whenever the bricks are absorbing the water more than 20% of water, it clearly indicates that the burns are not burnt properly. They have many holes inside it, so which is absorbing the water. So, whenever bricks absorb more water, its strength is usually a less one. Okay? So, it is not a good quality of the bricks. Now, moving on to what are the major uses of the bricks. As I mentioned earlier also, the bricks are basically of three categories: class 1, class 2 and class 3. The class 1 bricks are usually used for the construction of the exterior walls and also the short columns. And if you have any arches in the construction activity, we can use these class 1 bricks for the construction of all these things. And the next one is class 2, which is usually used for the construction of the interior walls, and also sometimes we use for the construction of the compounds also. And the last category, that is class 3, usually it is a very low quality bricks, and many times usually we use this third quality or class 3 quality bricks for non-structural construction activity. It's not that important, like maybe for this small foundations or paving the rough areas and all those things, where it is not a important work, we use this third quality bricks. Now, moving on, what are the advantages of the bricks? So, there are many advantages. As the bricks are of small in the sizes, they are very lightweight. It is very easy to shift or move the bricks from one place to another place, or it is very easy to move the bricks to the higher floors very easily. And also, as they are very light in the nature, the construction of the walls or the construction work is also is easier one. And the lightweight. Usually whenever I am talking about the lightweight, so it is in comparison with the stones, which is another construction material which we are not talking about here. Compared to the stones, the bricks are of very light in the nature. Then the strength is also good comparatively, not as that the stone, but it is a good strength bricks we can use for the construction activity. And also the bricks provides good fire resistance compared to the wood and all those things. They are good resistance even in heat and sound also. And as I mentioned, the sizes are very small and they are very light in the weight. It is very easy for the construction activity. And as the bricks are very smaller into sizes, using these small bricks we can construct the walls in a proper way. It means we can maintain the width of the walls uniformly. If you are using these stones, so it is little difficult to maintain the uniform width throughout the length. So, whereas using the bricks we can maintain the uniform width for the entire length of the walls. Okay. The next material of construction is cement and one more material, a similar material. This cement mortar. Cement is basically we use in the construction as a binding material, which is an artificially produced or manufactured construction material as like the bricks, whereas the stone, which is a naturally available material. Now, here whenever we are manufacturing the cement, we need many different ingredients or the raw materials which are naturally available materials. The cement, it looks like grayish in the color, and the most commonly we call it as ordinary Portland cement or OPC. See, whenever we are manufacturing the cement, we basically need some 5 to 6 different materials in a different ratios, and the main ingredient is the lime. I hope you know about the limestones. The limestones is one of the basic raw material required for the manufacturing of the cement, which is somewhere between 60 to 68%. Majority of the portion we use the lime. Apart from lime, we need silica in the ratio between 17 to 25, and the alumina from 3 to 8%, iron and manganese somewhere between 0.5 to 6%, and also we need sulfuric trioxide from 1 to 3%, and also we use some of the alkalis. So, these are the some of the basic raw materials we need during the manufacturing of the cement. So, there are different methods of manufacturing the cement. So, we will not going to discuss all those things. Basically, there are two different methods called as wet mix and dry mix. So, we are not talking about that. So, when it comes to the different types of the cements, so nowadays depending upon the requirement in the construction activity, we have many different types of the cements depending upon the requirement. So, some of the most common the different types of the cement what I am discussing here is, the first one is the ordinary Portland cement. As the name itself, it is a most common cement which we use for the construction activity. Then the second one is the rapid hardening cement. See, whenever there is a requirement of the construction in a very fast rate, or let us assume that you are doing a construction activity where the waterlogging is there, or inside the water where you want the cement to attain the strength as fast as possible. So, during those situations we prefer to use rapid hardening cement, so which takes very less time to attain the strength. And next, moving on to the Portland pozzolana cement. See, this ordinary Portland cement, it will contain some additional pozzolanic material which is basically from the volcanic substance. It will have the more resistance towards the chemical attacks on the cement. So, that cement nowadays we are using this cement as a most widely in the construction activities, which have the very good resistance against the chemicals. The next one is the low heat cement. See, whenever in the cement, as I said, cement is a binding material. So, when we add water to the cement, so there will be a reaction called as a heat of hydration. There is a process where in this process the cement start attaining the hardness, and during this process cement liberates a huge heat. So, this process, liberation of heat into the environment, we call as the heat of hydration. And whenever there is a mass concreting means very huge concreting, like either it may be a dams or any concrete activities where we have the huge concreting work, the liberation of heat will be very high. Sometimes even the surrounding temperature in the mass concreting goes even up to 40-45 degrees Celsius, where humans cannot survive. It is difficult for laborers to work in that mass concreting. So, whenever we have the mass concreting work, we prefer to use low heat cement, which these cements they liberates comparatively less heat in comparison with the either it may be ordinary Portland cement or it may be a pozzolanic Portland cement. Then the sulfate resisting cement. So, wherever there is a necessity of sulfate attacks, like either it may be pipelining or somewhere where we have the sulfate attacks on the construction activity. So, we have to use the sulfate resisting cement, which will have the good resistance against the sulfate attack. Then the next one is the waterproofing cement. See, whenever there is a leakage in through the slabs, or might be you are feeling that the underground water tanks, they might leads to the leakage in future. So, we can use the waterproofing cement. It is basically a chemical available, we can add or we can mix into the cement. And the last one is a colored cement. So, these colored cement they are not so popular in the market, because whenever there is a necessity of architectural appearance, or whenever there is a need of different colored cement in the construction activity, even we have the availability of the different colored cement, we can use them in the different activities. Now, moving on to this, what are the uses? What are the uses of cement? So, as I mentioned earlier also, the cement is one of the most commonly used binding material in the construction. So, using the cement, we can go for the construction of the walls or any retaining walls, dams, beams, columns. For every construction, we need the cement. Not only for the construction, even for plastering work, flooring work, we need the cement. So, cement even it is cement used for the decorative works, either it may be an interior decorative or it may be an exterior decorative works. See, basically if I keep on talking about the cement, wherever we go, the cement is the most commonly used construction material. In all construction activities, we need cement. Without cement, we cannot go for the construction activity. The next one is cement mortar. Cement mortar is one of the most commonly used material in the constructions. Basically, the cement mortar is nothing but it is a homogeneous mixture of cement plus sand and water. So, whenever we need to bind the building units, like if you want to bind the two stones or two bricks in the construction of walls, we need this mixture or this mortar as a binding material. Uh, See, whenever we need this, we need to prepare it during the construction. It is not readily available. We need to prepare on the site. So, this is prepared in a very neat manner. So, first we need to take the sand, or which is technically we call it as a fine aggregate. See, sand and the cement is mixed first in a proper ratio, uniformly, thoroughly, to achieve a uniform color. Then to this mixed or this dry mix, we need to add the water. So, the after adding the water, we need to mix with the dry mix thoroughly, then the result will what we have is the mortar mix. This mortar mix is basically used to bond the brick or masonry units, either it may be a stone wall or it may be a brick wall or it may be any other cement block units, whatever it may be. Not only used as a binding material, this mortar mix is also used for the plastering purpose, flooring purpose, even to fill the cracks either in the walls or in the concrete. We use this mortar mix, and sometimes in the construction, after the construction of the walls, to point the walls, we use this mortar. And not only in that, even to prepare the cement blocks. Nowadays, which one of the most commonly or preferred construction material for the construction of walls, that is the cement blocks. Even to prepare those cement blocks, we need the mortar mix. Okay, this is something very brief about the mortar mix. Next, moving on to the next construction material, plain cement concrete, which is also most commonly called as the PCC. So, PCC again, as like the mortar mix, it is also prepared or it is also manufactured whenever there is a necessary in the site. It is not a readily available material. This is manufactured using the three basic materials, that is cement, sand and the gravel, or basically sand is nothing but the fine aggregate, gravel is nothing but the coarse aggregate, plus we need to add water. As I mentioned, first we need to prepare a dry mix of these three materials, cement, fine aggregate and coarse aggregate. Once we have the proper mix, then we need to add the water. So, the resultant material is the plain cement concrete. In the most construction activity, whenever we need a hard surfaces, we go for the plain cement concrete. That is, as I mentioned, for the construction of the foundations, beams, columns, we need the plain cement concrete. And even nowadays, instead of a bitumen road, we can see most of the times we are constructing the cement roads. And even for the construction of the dams, pipes, even for the precast construction, like as you see in the flyover constructions, we are using the precast members, precast flyover decks. Even for the construction of those precast flyover decks, we need the cement concrete, we need the plain cement concrete. So, wherever there is a necessary of having a hard surfaces or a strong members in the construction activity, we prefer to have these plain cement concrete.